Hi, once again, this is Joe Miller, workers' compensation attorney in Virginia and North Carolina. I wanted to talk to you today about an important concept that applies primarily in Virginia and in Virginia's workers' compensation cases. Now, this applies in legitimate cases. In other words, claims where we know that the insurance company is paying for the medical either voluntarily or where they will eventually accept the claim. So we have a concept in Virginia that you are entitled, when you're legitimately injured on the job, to a panel of 3 different doctors to treat you for whatever's wrong with you. And we often see employers and workers' compensation insurance companies taking advantage of this and not giving you your 3-doctor panel that you have a right to under Virginia law. We see this a lot initially at the beginning of claims. Many employers have what we want to call company doctors, factory doctors, places where they will typically send you if you get hurt on the job. And there's kind of an under-the-table kind of wink-wink thing going on there. There's a relationship, unfortunately, between the employer or the insurance company, workers' compensation insurance company, and the doctor, which is basically, look, doc, we'll send you a lot of business. We're going to send you all of our injured workers. The wink-wink is you need to get them back to work as soon as possible and minimize their injuries as much as you possibly can. And this is often what these doctors do. Okay? So they're not really allowed to do that. If you're hurt on the job, you're entitled to a choice of at least 3 different doctors to choose from. You don't have to go to the company doctor. So if you're hurt on the job and you have not established a course of treatment with a particular doctor already, in other words, you haven't been to a doctor a whole bunch of times, in which case you're kind of stuck with that doctor. If you just, they try to refer you to the company doctor, you need to ask for a panel. You need to ask for a 3-doctor panel, and you need to choose a doctor from that panel. And I would recommend very strongly that you not pick the doctor yourself, that you contact our office or some other workers' compensation attorney and discuss the panel with them, which doctor to choose from the panel, because you don't want to choose a doctor based on convenience, the fact that they're close to you or some random thing. We know we have a pretty good idea of who the doctors are in our area and in a lot of places, and we have ways to find out. And there's some doctors you definitely want to stay away from. They're just known as insurance doctors. They're going to typically side with the insurance company. Let's be clear that panel is no guarantee that you're going to get 100% fair shake, but it's certainly better than being railroaded into seeing the company doctor who may or may not treat you fairly, more likely will not treat you fairly, and will side with the employer every single time. Okay? So that's one context where we see this come up. Another context where the 3-doctor panel is very important is the context of being referred to a specialist. So let's say you're treating with an orthopedic doctor, but you're having symptoms of what we call post-traumatic stress disorder, or PTSD. You had a very bad accident, and you have an orthopedic doctor, but you're having depression, you're having nightmares, you're reliving the accident over and over again to the point where you cannot function. And the doctor finally says, well, I'm going to go ahead and make a referral for you to see a psychiatrist. Okay? So you don't want to just go with whoever is suggested by the insurance company. You want to ask, again, for a panel. You want to ask for a minimum 3-doctor panel for the psychiatrist, and then you want to call an attorney like us to consult with you about which doctor you want to choose from that panel. Because again, there are some who are known to be, always side with the employer, and some who are known to be more sort of middle of the road. Or certainly, maybe you're not going to find somebody who's going to be what we call a claimant's doctor, somebody who's going to be more in your favor, but at least you're going to find somebody who's not totally against you. Unfortunately, many folks don't understand this, and they just go with whatever the insurance company does. We've seen people, go to these company doctors, and then the company doctor may decide, okay, well, yeah, you have a pretty bad situation. Let's say you have a lumbar sprain or something like that, but it's gotten worse, and during the course of treatment, and now you've gotten to the point where you've got numbness in your legs, and you're in pretty bad shape. You can't sit up, you can hardly walk, and they say, okay, yeah, you need an orthopedic. We're going to send you to Dr. X. Well, Dr. X is the worst person you could possibly see. He's a known insurance company hack. He's a known guy who will minimize all your injuries. If you have injuries that are severe and you need surgery, he will say they are not from the accident, or he will operate on you and then immediately send you back to work prematurely. So you want to stay away from that guy. So the remedy is to ask for a panel. When you get that referral, even if the company doctor were to say, I want you to see Dr. X, you have the right to say, no, I don't want to see Dr. X, I want a panel. All right? So in that situation, you really need to give us a call, or some other attorney that does workers' compensation, and make sure you do that in consultation with the attorney. Okay? If we're representing you, or you're being represented by some other attorney, and you're watching this video, let me just tell you right now, don't assume that we know that you've been referred to a specialist. Don't pick a doctor on your own. Call us up, let us know that you've been referred to a specialist, and let's get you a panel. Now, there are some times when the doctor will refer you to a doctor that we think is really great. And in those circumstances, you don't want to ask for a panel. You just want to leave it alone. Okay? And we can help you with that as well. But you don't want to be this woman that called here a few weeks ago, and it was terrible what happened to her. She went ahead and went with the company program and let the company doctor refer her to this horrible doctor who just totally derailed her claim. And had we been representing her at the time, we would have told her, look, you don't want to do this. You want to ask for a panel. Don't go to this guy. He will mess up your case, which is exactly what he proceeded to do. This woman had no business being at full duty, and he, of course, he operated on her and then referred her to, got her back to full duty, immediately. And she has no business working, but there's really not a whole lot that can be done about it. So don't be that woman. Don't make that mistake. If you've been referred to a specialist, or you're in a situation where you're starting out your claim, and don't just go along with the company program, ask for a panel. And when you're asking for a panel, you want to do it in consultation with a law firm like us, who focuses and specializes in workers' compensation. Don't try to do it on your own, because you could be getting to a doctor that will derail your claim. I hope this has been helpful for you on the subject of 3-doctor panels. If you have any other questions about your workers' compensation claim, or that claim of a loved one, or somebody you know, please don't hesitate to call us. We're here, and this is all we do. And we're dedicated to your success in your workers' compensation claim. We don't want to see you make these mistakes. I'm here to try to help you. So thank you for watching. Have a wonderful day. If you're hurt, feel better. And Joe Miller out. Take care.